It's crazy. What we're trying to do, what we're attempting to do, and you gotta be crazy to do it, right? And I'm going to Beijing to double down on my product Foundry for consumer AI.
Drove the gates, feeling anxious around 12 a.m. Just move, but might move it all out again. This feel like deja vu. Swear last year my brain bought the same thoughts through. I blame the things I do. Only difference is I ain't in school. You heard that news? I flip birdies to these worms in suits. See, getting moved in a couple months. So we need a new place to go get shit done. Now I got my old flow. East Coast inspired. Ain't no biggie when I hit the whiskey, nothing that dark. Skin thin like a wire, we getting twisted. Said we cool, but you a liar on some bitch shit. You see big bodies, then my close bros. If you ain't by me, you can stay home. We ain't Kimosabis, don't get too close. Might get burned by what's
So I'm currently in Qatar, on my way to Beijing, China. I'm gonna go to China tomorrow. Today is Saturday 8th, November 8th, and I'm going to Beijing to double down on my product Foundry for consumer AI. So the question would be, why China, right? If you look at any new technology, you always need a very good seed market. For pretty much most of digital tech, like the internet, instant messaging, the United States has been, the US has been the seed market, right? In the last couple of decades, though, China has really grown big as well, and it's such a big market. And they are also early adopters, especially in AI and robotics as well, right? You look at like the distribution of tech companies right now, it's basically just China and the United States, right? So that's why I'm going to China, going to Beijing specifically. Gonna double down on my product foundry for consumer AI. My last startup was based in Africa, and it's we have a large population, but it's not a market for testing new technology, like especially cutting edge like AI, right? So that's one reason, right, why I'm just focused on the US and China, for being the first market for the product foundry, right? So the other thing is also that you need a market where winning in that market puts you in a position to basically conquer the rest of the world, right? You want to be. I hope that the product foundry would grow to become a big, big tech giant, right? Is why from the beginning we're not trying to be meek, basically, that we are laying it out. If you look at Google, you look at Biden, you look at Microsoft, they are multi-product companies. Yeah, at different times you're gonna have what you're focused on, but you don't build a tech giant doing one thing. And Biden is a very good example. Biden is a company I buy a lot. In fact, I'm going straight to the headquarters, what I learned in China, right? Biden's from day one has been they call them app factory. I think in their first 12 months, they released like 12 products in their first 6 months, right? And it's a tech giant now. It's bigger than Meta already in many aspects. I think head count, revenue, um, user base, of course. Maybe not user base, actually, not user base. But yes, so you need a place where you're able to basically winning in our market puts you in a position to dominate the world. You take a WhatsApp, for example, start in the US, spread to the rest of the world. Of course, Google as well. Of course, Facebook. So the US and China, for me, are the markets I'm focused on for pretty much like the next couple of years. I mean, you build a product that works, you're going to be able to, you don't stop people from signing up in other markets. But at least when we want to do like the work of trying to get the initial user base, it's going to be in this market specifically. So I'm going to be in China for the next couple of months, as well. So this is Doha. I think I'm gonna spend some time exploring Doha, and then I'll be in Beijing tomorrow, and double down from there. So yesterday, we integrated the image model to Porta, the AI image model, and I'm gonna be testing it, um, to basically check for bugs, When I'm testing features like that, after an engineer just implemented it, usually before that, I we break down the feature. I always go deeply technical because I have a lot of technical experience as well. Um, so I basically coordinate what happens on the back end, what happens on the front end to ensure that we have the best experience possible. So I'm going to be testing it. Basically, in this case, we decided to use a technology called Q, or let's say a process called queuing. Um, the reason why you do that when it comes to interfacing with an AI image model is you want to reduce, you don't want to mess up your rate limit, right? So that's one of the reasons why we went this route. So there's a lot of complexity to check out based on whatever has been implemented on the back end and the front end as well. So I'm going to be doing that. One of the interesting thing about Porter, or why we're able to build it now, is because actually the idea for Porter came a couple of months ago when ChatGPT image first came out. When ChatGPT image first came out, I had the idea to build something that you know allows people to imagine themselves in different places. But I decided I hack a demo, like a technology demonstration, and I got disappointed because ChatGPT doesn't support that. So it was a little bit disappointing. ChatGPT had a problem with GPT image, that's the name of the model, had a problem with facial consistency, right? So you couldn't really put yourself anywhere to always switch your face. So I had to put a hold on the idea. Then Nano Banana came out, GPT image came out from Google, and GPT image basically allowed it's like the perfect technology we're looking for. So that basically enabled this idea to be able to be brought back to life, and I decided to basically resume, and we're gonna build it and launch it as well. So yeah, as a case of building. Like in AI, people like to talk about the best way for you to build is to build in such a way that when new models come out, they don't kill your startup. They basically improve it. A lot of people talk about ChatGPT wrapper. This guy's just a GPT wrapper, or that guy's just a an API wrapper, right? And but if you build your product in such a way that when new uh, better GPT-6 comes out, your product also gets better, not that it kills you, then there's a pretty much good chance that you're going to build a good business and you're also going to build a good company, right? So that basically is the next one. We're going to be testing, and well, after testing, we can now start basically roll out with beta users. That's usually basically the step. Now I'm in Beijing, completely trying to settle in Beijing. Uh, it's been a crazy week. So I'm in an apartment in the heart of Beijing, rented an apartment with my friends. Uh, we basically moved in. We even looked for the apartment overnight, right? So yeah, on getting to China, uh, some of our priorities changed a little. So we're still gonna be building Porter and launching product in China. So some of the work that has to be done next now is translation work. Um, there are some things very unique to China because there's a wall between the West and China, right? So notification service is different. The kind of services you can use is different as well. So we're going to be doing that integration and translation over the next couple of days in preparation for Porter launching in China. I'm also going to launch Porter in the US, of course, with like my US based thing, right? Right. That's basically the next priority right now. But there was a slight, my guys suggested like we build a product. This is something they've been working on even before I came. And it's an AI native professional network, right? You can think of it like LinkedIn, but backed with AI, right? You can use AI to find anyone, right? Maybe you're a researcher. It's like a deep research for people, right? So you want to find researchers in Beijing or Shenzhen. This is a problem that is local to the market. I'm not really open to this problem, but I trust my friends, and it's worth giving a shot. So we're calling it Bo for now, and it's gonna be the next thing right after Porta. So development already started on that, right? And so basically, Bo Porta, we're gonna be launching it the next. Of course, Porta is not gonna be called Porta in China. It's gonna be a different name, right? So yeah, our apartment is in the center of Beijing. Literally across the street is ByteDance office. We're like a kilometer away from all the major tech companies in China: JD, Baidu, Lark, Feishu, and even ByteDance, as I just mentioned as well. So yeah, it's crazy what we're trying to do, what we're attempting to do, and you gotta be crazy to do it, right? Like my friends Yifei and Benson over there, right? Uh, we basically have locked ourselves up in this apartment, and we're gonna be building for the next couple of months for the Chinese market, right? So it's gonna be really incredible. And that's Beijing, basically. I think this is like what 17th of November. So yeah, guys.
When buy me, you can stay home. We ain't Kimosabis, don't get too close. Might get burned by wasabi, watch where that nose goes. You acting fishy, I'm pretty.